The distress signal was weak, fragmented, almost lost beneath layers of static and cosmic radiation. But it reached Earth, and that was all it took. The war no one wanted. The border system of Virex-9 had once been a thriving trade hub, connecting dozens of species across 3 spiral arms. Now it was a battlefield. The Zarot Dominion, a brutal empire that thrived on conquest, had invaded without warning, overwhelming planetary defenses and slaughtering civilians by the millions. The Galactic Coalition, formed to protect smaller civilizations, scrambled to respond. Fleets were mobilized. Emergency summits convened, but political arguments delayed action. Jurisdictional disputes paralyzed command. By the time resolutions were passed, Virex-9 was burning. Entire cities collapsed. Orbital stations were shattered. Refugees fled into space aboard overcrowded civilian transports, many destroyed before they could escape. Across the galaxy, desperate pleas echoed through emergency channels. No one came. The call that reached Earth. The distress signal reached a deep space relay near Jupiter, bouncing through human networks before landing in a command chamber beneath Geneva. President Elena Vos stood before the Terran Defense Council as the footage played, burning cities, shattered ships, terrified civilians of dozens of species begging for help. Admiral Marcus Hale clenched his fists. "They are massacring civilians," he said. "The coalition is still debating." General Aria Chen looked up from her tablet. "We can reach Virex-9 in 18 hours if we divert Task Force Obsidian." "That puts us in direct conflict with the Zarot Dominion," someone warned. "No formal authorization. No coalition mandate." President Voss didn't hesitate. "Then we won't wait for one." The room fell silent. "We are not going to war," she continued. "We are going to stop a massacre." Why only the angry humans came? Humanity's response wasn't calm. It wasn't measured. It wasn't diplomatic. It was furious. For centuries, humans had tried to build alliances, follow galactic protocols, and respect interstellar law. They believed in cooperation, in rules, in systems, but they also had one absolute line: do not massacre civilians. And Virex-9 had crossed it. Admiral Hale stood. "Deploy the anger fleets." The room stilled. That wasn't their official name, but everyone knew what it meant. The anger fleets. Task Force Obsidian was humanity's rapid response armada, not designed for conquest, not built for occupation, but engineered for intervention under extreme circumstances. Its ships weren't the largest. They weren't the flashiest, but they were terrifyingly efficient. Each vessel carried quantum disruptors capable of disabling shields without destroying hulls, gravitational nets that could immobilize entire fleets, and neurosuppression fields that neutralized hostile forces without harming civilians. They were built for one purpose: to stop atrocities immediately. And when they deployed, they didn't wait for permission. Arrival at Virex-9, the Zarot Dominion fleet had surrounded the system's final habitable world. Orbital bombardments lit the planet's surface. Ground cities burned. Emergency bunkers failed. Refugee convoys were being hunted. Then space tore open. Hundreds of human warships exited hyperspace in perfect formation, silent, dark, and terrifyingly precise. No warnings. No ultimatums. No negotiations. Just action. Phase 1. The silence of the Zarot. Zarot dreadnoughts opened fire immediately. Their weapons never landed. Human counterfield bent energy beams into empty space. Missiles detonated harmlessly mid-flight. Warp cores stalled. Power systems collapsed. Entire Zarot battle groups found themselves frozen, engines locked, weapons offline, navigation systems blind. Human ships did not fire. They simply turned the enemy off. Across Zarot command channels, panic exploded. What is happening? Why can't we move? Who are these ships? Phase 2. The ground war ends. Human dropships descended through burning skies. Not invasion troops. Rescue teams. Combat medics. Engineers. Evacuation specialists. Within hours, human forces secured evacuation corridors, shut down Zorot orbital fire platforms, and shielded refugee convoys with overlapping defensive grids. Human soldiers moved fast, angry, and relentless, not against civilians, but against anyone threatening them. Zorot ground forces were overwhelmed, stunned, restrained, and neutralized, not slaughtered. Stopped. The galaxy watches in shock. Across the galaxy, coalition observers watched the feeds in disbelief. The Zorot invasion, which had taken months of debate and political paralysis, was undone in less than 6 hours. And the humans hadn't declared war. They hadn't issued speeches. They hadn't even requested authorization. They had simply arrived and ended it. The first human message. Only after the system was secured did humanity transmit its first broadcast. Admiral Hale appeared on every frequency. His voice was calm, controlled, and unmistakably furious. This system issued a civilian distress call. We answered. He looked directly into the camera. We do not care who started your war. We do not care about your borders, treaties, or politics. His eyes hardened. But if you massacre civilians, we will come. Silence followed across the galaxy. Then fear. The Zoroters' realization. The Zorot Dominion demanded explanations. Threatened retaliation. Promised annihilation. Humanity didn't respond. Instead, Project Sentinel activated. Every Zorot fleet within 5 sectors found their hyperspace corridors collapsed. Their shipyards went offline. Their command networks fractured into useless static. Not destroyed. Neutralized. Contained. Their war machine, which had terrified half the galaxy, was suddenly powerless. And the humans still hadn't fired a shot at a planet. Coalition shame. The Galactic Coalition finally arrived at Virex 9, days too late. Their diplomats were greeted not by victory celebrations, but by human medics evacuating wounded civilians and engineers rebuilding shattered infrastructure. A coalition envoy asked President Voss, "Why didn't you wait for authorization?" Her answer was simple. Because people were dying. Galactic shift. News spread faster than hyperspace. Only the angry humans showed up. Not the alliances. Not the councils. Not the empires. The humans. Civilizations across the galaxy began broadcasting distress signals directly to Earth, bypassing official networks, treaties, and bureaucracies. Because now everyone knew, if you were in danger, the humans would come. Aftermath. Within weeks, Zorot war crime tribunals were convened, under human oversight. Refugees were resettled. Trade routes reopened. Infrastructure was rebuilt using Terran engineering core. Humanity did not annex territory, did not demand tribute, did not claim glory. They simply left, as suddenly as they had arrived. Epilogue, the reputation of anger. Across the galaxy, a new phrase entered common use. Pray the humans stay calm, and hope they never get angry. Because when humanity was calm, they debated. When humanity was neutral, they observed. But when humanity was angry, they showed up, and everything changed.